When everything is moving all at once, your workforce, your tech stack, your business, you don't need more tools. You need one solution. That's why Paylocity built a single platform to connect HR, finance, and IT with AI-driven insights and automated workflows that simplify the complex and power what's next. Because when everything comes together in one place, growth comes easy. Experience one place for all your HCM needs. Start now at paylocity.com/one.
There's a feeling a lot of homeowners share right now. Mortgage, always on time, lots of equity. On paper, you're doing fine, but then the insurance bill lands. Property taxes, healthcare, childcare, tuition. The math just isn't mathing. Unlock wants to talk about the squeeze American homeowners are feeling and what you can do about it. Start at unlock.com/equity. Unlock Home Equity Solutions, Inc., NMLS 2657081.
On today's Smart 7, Chancellor launches Great British Summer Savings, Russia cranks up pressure on Ukraine's allies, and much more. It's Friday, 22nd of May, it's World Goth Day, and happy birthday, Katie Price.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Chancellor Rachel Reeves popped up on TikTok on Thursday, not somewhere you'd normally find the Chancellor of the Exchequer, but she was sharing news that bus travel for 5 to 15-year-olds would now be free. That seems like a clever use of social media, but she got a telling off from the Deputy Speaker for not announcing it in the House of Commons first. Undeterred, she introduced a summer-themed cost of living package intended to support families and to support the UK's hospitality industry.
I recognise that what matters for families is not just getting by, but being able to enjoy time together. That is why I am launching the Great British Summer Savings Scheme to help families and support our hospitality sector.
The scheme will see cuts on VAT across things like zoo visits, along with the freeze on fuel duty announced earlier in the week. Lucy Rigby, who is Chief Secretary to the Treasury, says that the government is also looking to reduce tariffs on a list of essential food items.
We know that from the previous measures, the agri-food tariffs that the Chancellor was able to scrap, there was a long list of products.
Did it make them cheaper?
I believe it did, yeah, but this is further action now, which is going to be trying to make sure that the cost of the weekly shop comes down for people.
There's been a notable difference in Prime Minister Keir Starmer's mood since he found himself about to be plunged into a leadership contest. He seems more relaxed and less tightly wound, making jokes about Pep Guardiola and Andy Burnham at Prime Minister's Question Time, and he even approached the journalists outside Downing Street on Thursday to chat. He says he's delighted to see immigration numbers drop dramatically, and he's also fully committed to campaigning for arch-rival Andy Burnham in the Makerfield by-election.
Whatever other discussions are going on, it's really important that's a straight fight between Labour and Reform. It's about the values that we take into politics, so it's really important that we all pull together and fight in that by-election, as we will do.
Last week also saw a dramatic drop in NHS waiting lists, which Starmer was touting as real progress for his government's policies. Former Health Secretary Wes Streeting was sounding like he's been having second thoughts about his resignation.
If I felt that the Prime Minister was going to change and things would be different, I would have been happy, more than happy, to stay doing the job that I love.
The temperature between Russia and Europe has continued to heat up this week as President Putin seeks to apply pressure to Kyiv and its allies. 3 times in the last few days, Russian drones have crossed into Latvian airspace, and Ukrainian sources have warned that Russia may be planning future attacks from Belarus. Russia's war on Ukraine does usually see a summer offensive, but with Russian troops bogged down on the front lines, it appears Moscow is seeking new angles for attack. It was a bad week for what Downing Street is calling a clumsy piece of messaging around easing UK sanctions on Russian jet fuel and diesel. Tom Keating from the Royal United Services Institute says President Zelensky is right to be annoyed.
It's just an embarrassment, frankly, for Downing Street. It was poorly communicated. But the bottom line is, I think another critical thing in this is it just shows how vulnerable the UK is to decisions that are being made outside its control.
As the midterm elections get closer, some cracks are beginning to emerge in what was a united Republican front, with the first real signs of resistance to Donald Trump's legislative agenda. The Senate was due to vote on funding for Trump's immigration crackdown and on a bill which would have seen $1 billion put aside for the construction of his White House ballroom. But senators have departed Washington without taking a vote, in part because of widespread unhappiness over Trump's new IRS settlement slush fund that would see $1.8 billion handed over to the president with no real legal justification or safeguards. Trump continues to try and push his Save America voting bill in advance of the elections, but he may be facing serious difficulty in getting it through.
I think the elections are so rigged, and we have to do something about it, and we're going to do something about it, but we cannot continue to have, and frankly, the Senate and the House, they ought to get together and they ought to pass the Save America Act so that you have voter ID, and it's so important you have proof of citizenship.
Still to come on today's Smart 7, in association with Metro, Lewis Hamilton laughs off retirement talk and Stephen Colbert says goodbye. Right after this.
There's a feeling a lot of homeowners share right now. Mortgage, always on time, lots of equity. On paper, you're doing fine, but then the insurance bill lands. Property taxes, healthcare, childcare, tuition. The math just isn't mathing. Unlock wants to talk about the squeeze American homeowners are feeling and what you can do about it. Start at unlock.com/equity. Unlock Home Equity Solutions, Inc., NMLS 2657081.
While every other channel is fighting for your customers' attention, podcasts are where they've already given it. No one accidentally listens to a podcast for 45 minutes. They choose to be here. They trust the voice in their ears, and when that voice talks about your brand, it doesn't sound like advertising. It sounds like a recommendation from a friend. Acast gives you that trust at scale. Digital precision, host-read authenticity, and performance data that proves it worked. Don't fight for attention. Buy it with Acast. Learn more by visiting acast.com/advertise.
Welcome back. This weekend sees the Premier League wrap up with a full fixture list on Sunday, but really only one remaining question. Will Spurs or West Ham be relegated? Roberto De Zerbi's side only need a point to be sure of safety, but it'll be a tense final day. The weekend also sees Formula One in Canada for the Montreal Grand Prix. Kimi Antonelli of Mercedes has been pretty much unstoppable so far this season, and he and teammate George Russell are first and second in the drivers' table. Lewis Hamilton is tied for fourth with Lando Norris after a strong start to the new season, and he says he'll be around for some time to come.
You know, there's a lot of people that are trying to retire me, and that's not even on my thoughts. I'm already thinking of what will be next, planning for like the next 5 years.
Thursday night saw Late Show host Stephen Colbert sign off after 12 years at the helm. The show was cancelled last year by the CBS network after a settlement with President Trump as the network looked for a media merger with Paramount. Bosses say it was a financial decision, and Colbert has avoided commenting, but his final weeks have seen a roster of star guests including Bruce Springsteen, Barack Obama and Steven Spielberg, with Paul McCartney as his final guest. He opened his last show before he goes off to write a script for a new Lord of the Rings movie, with a heartfelt moment.
We love doing this show for you, but what we really, really love is doing the show with you. Now, I'll say to you what I've said to every audience for the last 11 years, and I have meant it every time. Have a good show. Thanks for being here. And let's do it, y'all.
We don't often get period dramas that are also horror movies, which makes Victorian Psycho an eye-catching new movie from the producers of last year's big hit Longlegs. It stars Scream Queen Micah Monroe as a Victorian governess who arrives at a spooky Gothic manor and proceeds to do terrible things to lots of people. The cast includes Jason Isaacs, Ruth Wilson and Wednesday's Evie Templeton. It just premiered at Cannes, where it got a 5-minute standing ovation, and it is due to hit cinemas this September.
But what is evil? Can you touch it? Can you smell it? Can you taste it on your tongue?
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
There's a feeling a lot of homeowners share right now. Mortgage, always on time, lots of equity. On paper, you're doing fine, but then the insurance bill lands. Property taxes, health care, child care, tuition. The math just isn't mathing. Unlock wants to talk about the squeeze American homeowners are feeling and what you can do about it. Start at unlock.com/equity. Unlock Home Equity Solutions, Inc., NMLS 2657081.
We are farmers. And we know a pop star would never compromise on backup singers. If it's important, it's not worth compromising. With Farmers, you can get quality and savings. Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.